Hello, this is Old School from WhatTheBuck.net with our video preview for the Indianapolis Colts game. Monday Night Football returns to Tampa Bay, something we haven't seen in quite some time. And we actually have a sellout, which is something we've seen even less regularly around here in Tampa, it would appear. But the Colts come in into the season. We thought this was going to be the Peyton Manning game. I'm sure that drove ticket sales. But with Peyton Manning's neck injury, we're going to face the mighty Curtis Painter. One of the phrases I've heard bandied about is we're going to put the pain in Painter, all sorts of things. Obviously, a team will lick its chops when they see they're getting a quarterback that's untested and unproven. However, historically, the Bucs have not necessarily done very well against untested and unproven quarterbacks. There's not a lot of video on them. It's tough to understand their tendencies. And to be honest, the Bucs generally do a pretty good job of game planning when they have videotape. That being said, the Colts are certainly wounded. They're coming in without any wins, but they put up a heck of a fight against the Steelers, who now, after the game versus the Texans, look amazingly susceptible in general. When you talk about the Colts, historically, you've talked about the high-powered offense with Peyton Manning and Reggie Wayne and Joe Adai and whatever receiver they decide to throw into the slot, apparently. Dallas Clark, right? This is a team that has been known to put up boards, put up points, and light up scoreboards. This year, because of the situation at quarterback, what you're looking at really is the defensive side of the ball with Freeney and Mathis. That's where the focus is. You've got to see what these guys are going to do, and they gave Pittsburgh fits. And a defense that has historically been very good against the pass, but not particularly good against the run, looked like it held up pretty good against the run against the Steelers. So when you look at what the Bucs are going to have to do this week, we come in with Donald Penn, who's done a great job, generally speaking, against Jared Allen and John Abraham, and now gets another test. This guy gets no rest whatsoever on that left tackle spot, as he's going to be facing Dwight Freeney all night, unless they bring in Brayton, who looks really, really bad, and he's the one that spells Freeney on that side. When Brayton's in, you get about a second extra off the snap. On the right side with Mathis, the big concern here and the focus for the game for us is Jeremy Trueblood, who's played very good football. I've not been a huge Trueblood fan from a football perspective, but he has played very well this year. He is not particularly fleet of foot, and Mathis is fast. We're going to have to chip. You're probably going to see us shift our protections to that side. Hopefully we'll chip. I still am putting out the call to allow LeGarrette Blount to chip block like Larry Centers and absolutely make these guys' ribs hurt. But we don't seem to do much of that. On the offensive side of the ball, the Bucs are starting to find their identity. LeGarrette Blount got his carries last week. I hope that continues this week. I expect that it will. I'd like to see him get to that 20-touch area. But this game is starting to become all about the basics of football when you get the season rolling on. Trench warfare. Was the offensive line we had last week real? They opened up some holes for LeGarrette. They gave Josh some time to throw. They generally kept everyone's jerseys pretty clean. We need to see that again. Zuda in the lineup, I think, upgrades everybody. And across the board, they're playing pretty good football and starting to improve with each week. On the defensive side of the ball, we saw an explosion last week. Adrian Claiborne burst onto the scene. We got some pass rush, some pressure. Did that happen because Atlanta's offensive line is abysmal? Don't know. This offensive line isn't particularly good either, and Deem and Linkenbach on the right-hand side of the offensive line particularly do not look good and are not grading out well, which means that while I think Adrian Claiborne's a stud and he'll have a good game, I think our man Gerald McCoy and Michael Bennett or Daquan Bowers, whoever's in, is going to have an opportunity to come from that left-hand side and get some pressure on Curtis Painter. That's not his blind side, which he's given up sacks and fumbles to before, but I do expect to see us be able to come in and get some pressure on that side. Defensively, I think we'll hold up. I think that this is a game where we continue the maturation of the team. Young guys on the big stage for the first time. I see a big win on Monday Night Football after the Rays hopefully get their win against the Rangers. And I will predict another large score, even though I didn't come through on the Atlanta score. I apologize for that, but we left a lot of points on the field. I see it being a 38-13 win with my offensive MVP going to LeGarrette Blount, who I think will top the century mark this week and hopefully get a couple of looks out of the backfield in the passing game. And either Gerald McCoy or Michael Bennett. I'm going to lean on Michael Bennett, but I think Gerald McCoy is going to have a good game too. So thanks for tuning in. Sorry this is a little bit late. We'll do a review video after the game.